I know, it's hard to deal with, but One Piece has some flaws. Even though the story is of course wonderful. And for the anime only viewers, there are no spoilers in this video. And yeah, I know, looking for mistakes in animes, you shouldn't do something like that. After all, anime is just for entertainment. Just like this video. I absolutely love One Piece, it should be called Masterpiece. But even a masterpiece has some flaws in it, so let's go. The first thing actually starts pretty early in the story, and that is the beautiful and quiet city of Kokoyasi, which exists in the Nami Islands. As we know, this island was tyrannized by a small troop of fishmen, the Arlong pirates. Some people who missed the beginning of One Piece may now wonder who Arlong is. Well, he's a money-hungry, fish-headed, fish-smelling and fish-looking fishman who's already been beaten by some people. I don't know what's going on with him at the moment, and actually there's no information about it. After all, he's not a nipple down. Never mind, back to the subject. So he arrived in Kokoyasi and immediately began to drill his way into the hearts of the villagers. Hey yo! We are not here to take part, we are here to take over! Besides, we have road on our side and we let it loose on you if you don't... let's say, give us 100,000 belly per adult and 50,000 belly per child per month. Is that okay? And then the villagers be like, okay. So from now on, the villagers start giving him money every month. But where did they get the money when they are cut off from the outside world? All their ships were destroyed and no ship was allowed to stay there. Thus, trade with the outside world was completely excluded. After all, there was also the danger that someone from the other islands could get help. You can't just take the 100,000 belly that everyone could barely afford, then buy nothing from them in the country, which would be their only source of money and income, and expect to get more and more money from them. Where's that coming from? From Hogwarts? Because you would have to be a fucking magician for that. Or have a money printer or some shit like that. But then there would be a blatant inflation if every country had a money printer. Besides, the print shop would probably be Arlong's meeting place to circle wanking, as money horny as this fish is. And a question for the record. Do fishmen also eat fish? As I said, it's just a question for by the way, because that actually would be a kind of cannibalism. Let's stay with Kokoyasi, Arlong and Co. and get to the second thing. There was a small clause in the small print that could liberate Kokoyasi. This was that Nami could buy this island free for 100 million belly. So she also was the only one allowed to leave the island with Arlong's blessing. I'm out! Actually for the reason of withdrawing money from others, but I could also just go and see a vice admiral or something like that. After all, she was completely on the side of the Marine. She knew nothing about Nezumi and that he was such a traitor. And she was completely convinced of the Marine since Belmer was also a part of the Marine. Seriously, some Marine ships get destroyed from time to time when it's close to the island. What must the world government have been thinking? Yeah, I know, Nezumi was there and could say that... Actually, I have no idea. So many ships that have already been destroyed, that would be so conspicuous and Nezumi could never cover that. Why wasn't there an emergency call from such a ship to another base or anything else? Just a note on a newspaper seagull with "Help, we have Sakura here" would be enough to get someone to come by and see what's going on. And if he doesn't come back, then I would finally think about what's going on. And yes, Kokoyasi Island belongs under the watchful eye of the world government. Another thing is something smaller. I always wondered how Don Krieg, with his huge flagship, got over Rivers Mountain to get to the Grand Line. And how did he make it back with that shitty ship? After all, this is the only way to get to the Grand Line. And it's actually pretty awesome that this stream goes up a mountain. I think that's a damn good roller coaster. Especially with such a completely fucked ship. It continues with another little thing that happened a bit later in the anime. Here we come to Water 7 and thus to Franky, who as a teenager was still a normal boy. Until he completely and unexpectedly couldn't stop a train and was flattened. His body was never found and he was then declared dead. However, he has survived and mended himself out of scrap and hopefully a calculator so that he doesn't miscalculate again. And thus he became a cyborg. Oh boy. I'm not a doctor, even though my title is Professor Dr. Anime Hero, but it's probably possible, pure theoretical, that thanks to those things you put in there, he easy, for real, easy, caught at least 36 fucking different diseases. Huh, So this is the real origin of his self-given name, Battle Franky 36. And also very nice if you think about it. So he lies there with a fucking whole body fracture because he was run over by a fucking train and just thinks himself, yeah, cool! Now there's nothing stopping me from turning into a cyborg. Oh fuck, can't move. The next thing happened a little sooner and happened on Skypiea. Here we go with Nami, Luffy, a gold ball weighing several tons, a wafer for a person, a tendril that just crashed, and Enel, the bad boy who flies around with Noah's Ark up there. I think everyone knows what I'm getting at, don't you? How could the wafer, which is suitable for one person, maximum 2 persons, bring up so much energy and strength to drive so steeply up the vine with a gold ball weighing tons on Luffy's hand? Whatever the engine of the wafer is, Vegapunk would be proud. The last thing I was wondering is, why the world government not captured Red Leg Zeff? After all, Zeff was a famous pirate who was successful and feared on the Grand Line. After all, we also know that the Marines doesn't simply remove bounties from the pirates. At least you can't just say, yeah man, listen, being a pirate was cool and stuff, but now I'm not like that anymore. I swear. So it would be really cool if you would just forget my actions and stuff. You can also see this well with Dottie and Broggy, which are still sought after even after decades. I mean, I like Zeff extremely, of course. He's a really cool character and epic as fuck. But it's pretty stupid anyway. Besides, I would be interested in his bounty. These were the 6 mistakes from One Piece. There are probably more of them, so if you know something like that, just write it down in the comments. But that's it again from me. We'll see us next time, so take care my friends.